Hey guys, it's Thomas here, and today I have the awesome pleasure of talking to you about my signature sump. It's built by ProClear Aquatics, and it's called the Frag Fuge, because it's got a frag rack in the fuge. And some other stuff that I'll show you. So I know what you're thinking. With all the sump options out there, why did you make your own signature sump? Well, the truth is, I was staring at my tank one day, I'm looking at my aquascape, really enjoying it, and I just can't help but see the eyesore of a frag rack I have in the corner of my tank with all my extra little frags of corals that I'm not going to be using in my aquarium, that I'm just keeping there for either grow out or that I plan to, trade into my local fish store later or whatever. And I'm just really annoyed by it. And I'm a nano reefer, and I don't have a ton of space at home for another aquarium for a dedicated frag system. And my sump really isn't made to house frags. There is a neat little refugium section in that sump, but there's no way to really control how the flow moves through that section, and I can't really tailor it to growing out frags. So I just decided, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna reach out to my good friends at ProClear and talk to them about what I can do to make a sump that's gonna work for my needs, including all the features that I want. And that's kind of where this whole thing started. So really the main big difference in this sump versus other sumps is that the center section can be used as a refugium, but it comes standard with a frag rack, so you have a place as a nano reefer to keep your frags out of the display tank without setting up an entire new system. So first, let's talk about how the water moves through the sump, since that's pretty critical to how that frag section works. The water starts off entering the sump through the main drain. It'll then go through a filter sock and then into the skimmer section. There's also an auxiliary drain or backup drain in case you're using a Herbie-style overflow system. Next, it's going to travel through a raceway behind the frag section. In that raceway, you can put up to 2 ProClear media cartridges with whatever media you like, and then it's going to hit a gate. That gate's going to dictate how much water actually travels through the frag section and how much is bypassed, then going to the pump. That's important because depending on what frags you have in there, you might not want all the water flow going through the sump hitting those frags. So you have a little bit of play there, and that's the key thing that makes that frag section so usable. After it goes through the frag section, it's going to go through a sponge. That sponge just pre-filters any unwanteds before going to the pump, and then that last section has the pump, and it's going to send the water back up to your tank. I want to talk a little bit about the construction of the sump as well and why I picked the colors I did. I personally like everything on my systems to look really nice, even the filtration systems, even if they're behind closed doors most of the time, just because I like to look at pretty things. So I decided to go with a mostly opaque sump. So you can't see through the back panel, you can't see through the sides, and there's actually a nice border around the front of the sump too to kind of frame everything and make it look really slick. You've got a clear panel in the front so you can see what's going on in the sump. You'll be able to see your frags clearly. Any debris that's building up, you'll also be able to see. But all the wires and stuff around the sump, you won't have to look at them. And I picked a nice light gray and purple combo because the purple reminds me of pretty much anything related to corals and polyps. And the gray just complemented it really well without being, a color that gets dirty easily like white. There's a full trim brace around the entire top of the sump, including a door, which is useful to keep the splishing and splashing in the filter sock area to a minimum. I personally plan on using a controller with this sump and on my reef system, so I've included a triple dosing tube holder along with a triple probe holder. In the actual trim, there's notches for the dosing tubes as well, and for the wires coming off of the probes. I like things, like I said, staying neat and tidy, so that's a good way to keep them tidy. We've also got on the other end of the sump a notch for the wire coming off of the return pump. Plus, I've included an extra notch just in case you're going to run some sort of circulation pump for the frags. If you choose to use one, maybe you have some SPS frags in there that are going to want a lot of flow in a lot of different directions. That notch there is going to keep that pump cord right where it should be. I also really wanted to incorporate some Marine Pure biofilter media blocks, so underneath the frag tray, there's enough room for 2 of their 8" by 8" by 1" blocks to give you a boost of biological filtration. And I know not everybody out there is going to want to keep their frags in their sump. Some people just want to use their sump as their sump. And there are a lot of useful features on this sump regardless, so I made sure that the frag tray was removable. So if you want to use it as a traditional refugium or just leave that section with biomedia, you can do it. And like all ProClear sumps, this bad boy has a lifetime warranty. lifetime on manufacturer's defects and leaks. All in all, I'm super happy with how the Frag Fuge turned out. It's designed with the savvy reefer in mind. It's got a ton of great features while still being flexible with that removable frag tray. Basically, it's got everything I needed in a sump, and I can't wait to use this thing. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions at all, I'd love to answer them for you, so drop those down in the comments section or reach out to us on social media like Facebook or Twitter. And as always, make sure you subscribe because we're gonna have a ton of new content coming out. And you know what you gotta do? You gotta keep on tanking in purple and gray. Plus, it comes with tubes. I like tubes. Tubes. Sound check, checking the sound. Frag Sump. It's the Frag Fuge. It's right here beside me. Today it's my little co-host. Right, buddy?
Oh yeah. Don't touch me.